All right, guys, so I'm here and you are too. This is a kind of a dedication and remembrance of Bob Uecker, the voice of baseball. Two balls and a strike, you know, Major League, if you ever saw that movie. Side splitter. And I'm proud and honored to be played golf with Bob. We hung out. He took me to his restaurants with Bud Selig running around and baseball players and such, and just salt of the earth. Miss you, Bob. I sent him a note in November with Goose Gossage and I made a video in Mexico. We sent it to him, and he got that and said, "Thanks so much, guys." You know, and miss you, Bob, and you know, enjoyed my time on the planet with Bob. It's kind of my Hall of Fame experience in life. That guy, you know. So today, a quick note on something that Ben Hogan was known to have had a 2x4 in his bag. Okay, and why would he have that? Well, he got a 2x4 in his bag to brace his right leg. So, like so. So you brace it here. You got it? I'm going to fire this off. Made the green. So with this bracing here, you always wonder why he had such a nice post, right? Had that posted up. Well, he took a post and put it in his golf bag and had that in there all the time at Shady Oaks when he was practicing, and giving you that feel of like loading into this hip, but not letting the leg wobble out. That was the masterpiece of Hogan's, especially when you watch from the posterior view from behind and just seeing that beautiful action. So today's video is going to be a little bit about speed, how to use the arms. I want to build it out from there, let the body get involved, but first get the trail arm working. Okay, so you're going to see a shot indoors here from yesterday that I think you're going to like. So here I am in the hangar, we call it, workshop. Might be making this into a multi-tier golf facility indoor. But right now, I'm like a kid on a rainy day. Rainy day. All right, guys, so that was a bit of fun right there, I gotta say. And I wanted to get into the short game, though, to show you something really cool that's helped my students along the way. I've been in the business for 30 years, given thousands of lessons. I love helping people, and now I get to do it online. So hopefully the idea of the short game with a little bit of lob shot and a low shot will help you with your game today. You know, relevant. Chipping 101, low shot. Boom. Chipping 105, high shot. That had a ton of spin on it. Kind of afraid to hit it around out here, but you can see the difference, right? Let it roll. You want to do that. Still put spin on it, hit a little higher trajectory. Don't let it roll. Trap it, and then your hands will finish up forward here like this, and the club won't go very far past the hands. And too many players are going like here, right? Releasing this thing, and then the plane works like this incorrectly, okay? The tour players are like, boom. They might even let their left arm bend a little here, but for now, for you guys to get really good, is control this plane. I'm gonna have to use some crazy glue on this guy. Cock it back, like so. You can see how the wings barely change there, right? Instead of going, okay, I think I go here and then I go there, right? I go, no. And I was saying that a lot of guys come through with the left arm back there, pointing back here, and the club head to the target. You went completely opposite. You want the left arm pointing to the target and the club just hitting the ball. Key points. This is really going to help you guys. I want to hear what you guys are doing with your game. Send me some questions, some comments. The questions are key so I can create another video to answer the questions and get a little bit more detailed, as I might be leaving some stuff out. If I let this thing run for 30 minutes, man, I would really get into some cool stuff eventually, because it'll just come to me. Right there, I just took it back a little bit further. The plane was quiet because I knew I was just going to come right back down the plane, swing plane. I got the plane on the club, and then catch it like so. Boom. That should help you guys right there, okay? Given thousands of lessons. I love helping people, and now I get to do it online. So hopefully the idea of the short game with a little bit of lob shot and a low shot will help you with your game today. You know, relevant, useful content. So what I wanted to bring into play here was this guy right here, the airplane. This has helped so many students. Okay, so if I'm doing the Jose Maria shot, the wings of my plane, which are pointed right down to the ball, would just be the left wing is to the ground, right? And this is going to be uncocked where it comes back to where it was. But if you use the wing, you can really start to organize yourself as far as like what you're trying to do with this golf ball, as far as spin and trajectory. And, you know, I want to emulate Brett Rumford for sure. Here's the wings kind of starting at the ball here. And then as they come to you, you can see the wings level out. My plane's a little goofed up from the car ride over, but you can see it. So from here, right? First of all, let me show you this cool wedge. Now, Aaron Dill is the lead grinder for Titleist. He goes to the tour stops every week on Monday through Wednesdays and grind the wedges for them to use on the game day Thursday. He made this for me. Check it out. It says 54 there on the bottom, but you can see it's got my name in there, Gormanator, and it's a 54 degree. Super cool wedge. Love it. So, if you haven't had something fit for you, you're missing out. So that's another story that I'll tell you about. But I wanted to go with you today on this little bit of journey with some wedge game stuff. You can use the back of the wrist like this, back and forth, okay? So if you're sitting here doing this shot here, this is what you see on the tour all the time. You know, just watch the AT&T, and it brings me up to Jose Maria Olazabal, one of the great wedge players like Seve Ballesteros, both Spaniards, amazing short games. And I was at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach years ago, and I was sitting in the grandstands, and there was Jose Maria hitting these shots. And he was doing them just like this, taking the club back and just hitting little hinge back releasers is what I noticed. And I was, you know, wasn't really sure what he was doing yet, but I watched the balls. He was hitting to the side of me there, over to the green here, and they were drawing in. They were like spinning left when he hit the green with them. And I was going, how is that possible? And then I watched how he was getting it done. He was cocking back, if this is the ground right here, guys, he was cocking back that right wrist, the trail wrist, not opening the club face, just hinging it up on plane. So here's a plane angle. It might not be perfect, but it's how you go about business, right? Ball here, and you just cock it back up against this plane. So it's parallel to your feet, maybe a little inside your hands by this point. And then you come down and you uncock it. Now, when you uncock it, it's like working like here with the right wrist, and it's kind of shearing the ball. You know, when you think about what part of the ball you're going to hit, it's super important. We're trying to hit low or high shots. You want to hit the underneath dimple for high shots, obviously. And then the back of the ball more with the lower shots. Well, this baby was coming in from Jose Maria on a downward blow from the inside with the toe kind of closing only from the wrists going like this. You can see here, if I just did this, how my toe on this side works back up the arc and then goes to a low point like so. It would be like this, right there. So it's a super cool medium trajectory spinny shot. Just like that. You could hear that. I don't pick up much with the microphones here. I get that. So, but that's the style that he was using. You know, super cool. And I went back to the club at Meadow Club here in Alistair McKenzie course where I work, and started hitting shots, and it was really cool. Now, how do I help you guys, you amateurs out there, and assuming, you know, some of the short game stuff is more for talented, experienced players. Other of you guys coming that are new need this one little idea. Okay, and this is one of the things I wanted to cover today that is like super easy to think of. Okay, good wedge players, when they're first starting out, should be taught to go like this. So when I do this, The left arm is pointing well out here where the club head is still hitting the ball. What I see is this, the club head pointing out there and the left arm well behind the ball. So you think about that and you go, okay, it's like a lowercase y when I set up, and then I take it back and I make sure that the right shoulder kind of goes through some. I'll be coming to you like this, and you just hold it there. At this point here, I can see my right arm pointing way out there, and my left arm is outside of my body as well. The shaft itself is away from the arm, so it's actually not in line with my arm. So I'm not coming through and keeping in line with my arm. I want you guys that are kind of novices out there to come in and work on just using the triangle of your shoulders, hitting it, and then stopping here. So I helped this guy the other day and just explained to him, like, hey, I want your left arm to be pointing 2 feet in front of the ball and have the club head still where the ball was. And that would look like this. Right? So it doesn't take much, just a little bit of swing back, and then the arms finish pointing spidey webs out in front, right? Like shooting the webs right over here. And you'd be surprised how much better you get if you're one of these guys doing this. You can get away with it if there's a little grass underneath, but it's going to go everywhere, and you won't have control over the direction very well when you're scooping, right? Although I do pretty good with it because I hit all kinds of shots. But the baseline is right here. You start with narrow stance, ball in the middle, handle forward. You move the shaft and arms back with a little bit of turn. You can see my knees are switching and I'm turning just a hair. Then you deliver like this. And you've seen that classic pose, right? Where the guys are like so. Doing some damage in here today. Right. What I wanted to bring into play here was this guy right here, the airplane. This has helped so many students. Okay, so if I'm doing the Jose Maria shot, the wings of my plane, which are pointed right down to the ball, would just be the left wing is to the ground, right? And this is going to be uncocked where it comes back to where it was. But if you use the wing, you can really start to organize yourself as far as like what you're trying to do with this golf ball, as far as spin and trajectory. And, you know, I want to emulate Brett Rumford for sure. Here's the wings kind of starting at the ball here. And then as they come to you, you can see the wings level out. My plane's a little goofed up from the car ride over, but you can see it. So from here, right? And if you want to go full Monty, you'd barrel roll it. That's how you hit the high ones. See that? So there, obviously, I'm hitting different parts of the golf ball underneath on that one. But the cool spinner little dude is when you just take the shaft back, get the wings dipping down, come through, release it, and you're going to hit it pretty nice all day. Like that, and then we have the hands forward. So 2 different shots using this airplane. Yeah. So using the airplane has helped so many of my players just to understand that the shaft does twist if you want it to, and how that's going to provide a different action coming down. A lot of players on the tour are trying to hit those tight nipping spinners, and they're doing more of the back of the hand cocking here, like this, and then they uncock it with a little bit of pivot, and that would look like I've been doing, like that. And that's the wings down look, you know. So the wings going like it's flying to you guys, and then continuing to roll the wings this way, like a barrel roll. is going to get you on plane for the full swing and get the club face and open enough for you to come down, re-land the plane here on the runway, swing it back out to the ball, and that would hit your medium to higher spinny pitch shot. So you got two shots, right? You keep the wings down like this, or you spin it and let it barrel roll a little bit and get up on plane. A lot of the boys like Hideki, those guys get in super tight here, and all they're doing is working the handle like it's a swivel. They don't want to move it around. They just want it to stay underneath them like this and just do a little wrist cocking and then uncock it. The other one that I was showing you guys is not much cocking, but a little bit of a handle forward, like so. Plane is pointing right down in front of that club face. And then when I release it, I hold it like that. You can see the plane didn't change, right? So that would be really good for you guys to understand how to work this thing, right? Really good control. I'm just looking at the wings there, undoing it, and my guys are coming through and they show up and doing all kinds of stuff, or they're out like that and then doing this. Just be aware, man. Just be aware. Here we go. Wing down, and that left wing's down, and then point the nose of the plane right at that golf ball. Boom. And then hold it over here. Hey guys, are you experiencing difficulties with your golf game? Did you know there are 3 major league systems that are used on the tour today, where the real-time adjustments are made by the tour players so that they can shoot better scores under the extreme conditions, and so can you. So just click the link down below. It'll take you to a free quiz. We'll determine which system is better for you so that you can hit your goals and drastically improve your game, just like a tour player. All right, we'll see you on the other side.